Do you enjoy using cable machines for working out? If you do, I'm going to show you 5 key exercises to improve your golf fitness. With these 5 exercises, you can apply these in a simple routine where you do almost in a circuit fashion, so back to back on all 5, then have a rest. The purpose of the exercises will focus on key movement patterns throughout the whole body, and with the use of the cable, this helps keep the body more stable while still increasing your strength, power, and mobility. The first exercise, we're going to focus on trying to increase some core stability. We need a connector where you can easily hold in both hands, and we're going to set the cable up at the bottom. From here, we're going to lie on the floor, holding the cable connector in both hands, and we need to be a distance away where we can pull it forwards so the hands are roughly in line with the sternum, and we've got the load and the weight through the shoulders and arms. From here, we're going to simply put the legs at 90 degrees with a feel of pushing the lower back hard into the floor so the abs feel very engaged. Keeping the arms straight, we're simply going to lower one leg in a controlled manner straight to the floor, keeping the heel just above the ground, and drive back up, repeating on the opposite side. The key here is having enough weight on the cable where we're having to really stabilize it and engage in the shoulders while having to move the legs, keeping the back straight. To make it a little bit harder, we can just do both legs, which will then increase the intensity, activating the core more, focusing on 8 to 12 reps in total. Next exercise, we're going to focus on an upper body rowing motion where we have to be stable through the ground. We need to set the cable up around shoulder height. This is important, as you'll see in a moment. Start by taking the cable in one hand and pulling the weight slightly off with the arm still straight, and putting the opposite leg in front with the back leg on the tiptoe, so we're in this split stance position. As we can see, I'm in a tall position with the arm fully locked, but I've got some weight in the hand. From here, now the cable's set up at round about shoulder to nose height. We can now pull that cable down in a slightly diagonal fashion, which allows the elbow to be pulled towards the back pocket and squeezing and engaging that lat muscle and shoulder muscles. As we fully extend the arm, we've still got load through the shoulder, which is important, meaning the core and the lower body has to stabilize. We're going to repeat that motion, squeezing the muscles at the bottom, bit of control up, and repeat 8 to 12 times on each side, keeping stable throughout the motion. Next, we're going to go into a golf posture power press with overhead reach, which is great for core stability as well as lower half stability. We want to take a connector where we can grab with both hands in an easy manner, set up around chest height. We're going to grab it in both hands. We're going to walk out a little bit so our cable is clearly off the load. So I'm supporting that weight now fully tight to the body. Try and take a golf posture, so almost a wide, strong base, a little bit of hip hinge or leaning forward slightly without leaning into the toes, so we're still stable through the ground. That weight is tight to the body now where I'm not having to work too hard. All I'm going to simply do in a straight line is press the cable out. Now this cable is trying to pull me and rotate me, so I'm having to be very strong through this trunk and core. Keeping this stable, now in a slow manner going to lift overhead or towards the head position. We can have a little bit of elbow flex with this, but trying to keep that postural shape. Repeat, back down and back to the center, and repeat this motion 8 to 12 times with enough load where you're having to work very hard to keep the posture, but not so much where you can't control the motion. Next, we're going to do a lateral walkout. This is really, really good for golf in the sense that we can increase lateral hip strength, which is important to how we move and shift our weight, but also trunk stability and how we can reduce that side bend. Again, take a cable handle where we can grip with both hands, set it up around about chest height. We're going to start again in a similar golf type posture, so nice and strong through the legs, bringing the cable up tight to the body. We want plenty of weight here where we have to feel like we really have to work hard through the lower body and core to stop ourselves from being pulled to the side. All we're going to do, little steps, is walk to the side where we feel like we're having to really work hard in this motion. To make a little bit harder without necessarily having to increase the weight, we can just put those arms out a little bit further and do the same movement, trying to keep that posture, not let it rotate or be moved in any fashion. And that's going to help us have to stabilize, doing this in both directions, roughly 6 to 8 times. Finally, we're going to do a wide stance core or trunk rotation exercise. Really important with this, we're not trying to replicate the golf swing, we're trying to increase strength and power through those oblique muscles, those trunk muscles that are very important to rotation. Taking a cable hold that we can basically put our hands in a roughly shoulder width manner and dead straight, set up at chest height again. We're simply going to walk out so the weight is off far enough that we can fully rotate that trunk without the weight going back down. From here, we need to take a really wide stance. This is essential because this is essentially taking out too much hip motion and really promotes that trunk and obliques working how we want. We need enough weight where we have to really work hard to rotate, but not to the point where we can lose stability. So if I was to start in this manner, a bit of a golf type posture, I'm going to rotate that chest, keeping that position so we're not just turning the arms, big turn, and then we're trying to powerfully drive up and turn that chest, that rib cage in a full rotational manner. And we can see here, there's not a massive amount of hip motion, which is isolating those obliques in the fashion that we're looking for. If you found these exercises useful, click on the link in the description that takes you to my golf fitness app that has various 12-week programs on there. Doesn't matter if you're a beginner or intermediate trainer, we've got programs on there that starts you from the very beginning or more advanced and takes you for a full routine to help improve your overall strength, power and mobility.